In this video, we're going to talk about the third part of the scientific revolution for Harari, and that is adding on capitalism. This should be a rather short one, all right? And what we're going to focus on here is that what Harari says is that capitalism is all about growth, right? And growth is dependent on trusting that the future will produce more goods and services than the past, all right? And then science is perceived as the way to deliver that growth. So what he's saying here is that again, science, the marriage between science and capitalism is because science is producing the growth. He also talks about credit as the secret ingredient that enables capitalism to leverage the future. So if you think about it, if you're depending upon growth, then you don't have the capital at the time to make something happen. But if you can use credit, then basically the growth catches up with the expenditures. So that's kind of a general idea of what he's saying about with regards to. So it's with credit that we're able to do things today, even though we are creating a challenge for the future. But that's because growth is expected to deliver a better future. He says capitalism began as a theory about how the economy functions, both a descriptive and a prescriptive theory about how the economy functions. However, it's morphed into almost an ethic about how people should behave, how people should educate their children, and even how people should think. Okay, for example, economic growth is now defined as like the supreme good. Economic growth is expected to deliver justice, peace, and happiness. It's kind of the myth that capitalism has brought forth today. The free market scholars even go further and say that capitalism should be free to influence politics, but politics should not be free to influence capitalism. And Harari says that's never worked. Historically, free markets have left us with slavery, monopolies, and many other negative societal experiences. He quotes that capitalism has killed millions out of a cold indifference coupled with greed. And one of the reasons for that is that if you look at capitalism's radar, there are certain things that are just not on capitalism's radar. There's no protections against fraud, theft, and violence, which is what the state is needed for. And there's no protection against human right infractions, life infractions, and liberty infractions. And that's what the state is also for. So the capitalism without the state could not protect any of these rights. So all three are necessary, all right? Science is basically capitalism rests on trust and growth. Science delivers that growth, and empire protects the growth and the delivery of that growth. So that's what's all necessary for all of this to work. It might even be what's called a fully dependent relationship, not even be a Venn diagram as example, but it might be more like a cube where you can't really have any one without the other. That you need, capitalism needs empire and science, and you can't pull one out without having the others all at the same time. You can't take a slice of a cube that's not three-dimensional and doesn't have all the others at the same time. So that's kind of what he's talking about with regards to capitalism and adding capitalism to the model. And that's